Start. Well, good afternoon or good evening, everybody. It's great to see you all virtually. Glad you are joining us for the Wednesday installment of Conversations from 6 Feet. Of course, this is the much anticipated medical update with our parish nurse, Beth Moss. And Beth, thanks for being part of it again. This time, though, your background is a little bit different than it's been before. And love the gun back there. So I'm sure there's a little story to that.
There is. Mark doesn't do it anymore, but he used to hunt when he was growing up. But most of those guns are from our grandfathers. They're antique guns. There's a gun in there that was my father's birthday gift when he was 10 years old. That gets always passed down to the youngest grandchild. So we just have this collection that we never open and sits in the corner. It's my quiet corner for the day.
Well, and if you had a daughter, I guess Mark could pull that out, and when it came time for dating, and so the boys could see what's going on here.
Yeah, we might move that downstairs if God gives us another child.
Hey, thanks for this. And it's an insight into the homes that we live in right now. So Beth, let's move straight on. What kind of update would you like to give us today?
I think the thing that came out this week that affects all of us is now that the social distancing that we've been doing seems to be flattening the curve. So the modeling, they're constantly inputting new data. It's changing. So if the new models are predicting that North Carolina will have about, if the current stay-at-home order is in place just through April, then by June 1st, we'll have 750,000 people in the United States infected. But if they extend that through May, that number is going to go down to 250,000.
200, that's a huge diminishment.
It is huge. If the policy is lifted at the end of April, we'll have a 50% chance that we will exceed the need of acute care beds that we have available. Right now, we should have enough through the models through the end of April. But what we're seeing is some people have the infection that don't show any symptoms. So the CDC this week put out that they want people to wear masks if they're out and about, if you're high risk, if you can't do social distancing. And I think the stores do a decent job showing you what 6 feet is, but I went out to Sam's this morning and I wore a mask.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think that was great information you just gave us. I think what an amazing difference just that month makes. And I guess we'll see what the politicians and anybody who's in an advisory capacity does with that. But that's pretty really good information. At the Boone House, this is the current discussion right now, because we're talking about masks more, and so this is just a typical dust mask, and one of us, I won't say who, says that should be fine, and the other of us is a little skeptical on that. So could you help us understand about masks and what works, what should we really move to have, how do you use them, and then how do you handle them once you've worn them?
Okay, one thing I want to say up front is they don't want you to start buying the N95s and the surgical masks, because the healthcare providers and first responders really need those. So actually on the CDC's website, they have all kinds of options for making your own masks. So I'm going to show you a few.
Great.
First of all, I'm going to show you this one. This one is a surgical mask that I've just had laying around the house prior to this whole thing. It has a wire in the top of it. So if this is the kind of mask you have, you put them on, stretch it out, pinch the wire down over your nose, and then if you wear glasses, you wear them on top. And you want it down under your chin, you want it tight around your face. Not many people have these, although I have seen them out and about. I saw several today in Sam's. Our lovely sewing ladies have started putting these out.
Yes.
They're quite beautiful. They too are the same premise, although they tie. They're a little more complicated than putting them on your ears. On your face first, tie the top. Make sure it stays up over your nose. Tie the bottom. It's tight here. It's tight here. It's tight here. This one does not have wire in it. I have sent a new pattern to the sewing ladies that has a wire in it, but the wires aren't ready available. I ordered some on Amazon and had them shipped to Margie Person. So whenever they get there, she's going to switch to that pattern so that you can have that extra protection of holding that down. And the third one I have that I got this pattern off the CDC's website. I don't sew. So I got an old pillowcase out of my pantry. Just an old pillowcase, and I cut it up, and it can make at least 2. Coffee filter, 2 rubber bands. And if you have long hair and have hair ties, they work too. So you just cut it in a 20 by 20 square. All the directions are on there, so I won't go through the whole thing, but this is what it ends up looking like. And that's got to stay on your ears, over your nose, and down on your chin, like that. So whenever you're out and about and you're likely to be in less than that 6 feet, we're recommending masks. If you don't have a mask and you don't have the things at home to make one, please let us know and we will try to help you get in touch with a mask.
That's great information again, Beth, but what about this? Is that something that we should be using or not?
I think it's probably better than nothing, but if it were me and that is all I had, I would take coffee filter,
Okay.
fold it, and put it inside of that mask. That gives you 3 layers instead of the 1.
Ah, okay. All right. Now, when you're done with a mask, those masks that you showed us, except for the surgical mask, are quite lovely. Do you reuse those?
You do.
Okay, you do.
You throw them in the washing machine. Throw them in the washing machine, throw them through the dryer, and that should kill anything that's on them.
After each use?
I would do it at the end of the day.
End of the day. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when we remove them, I saw you using your hands to tie it on and remove it. What are we supposed to do when we take that mask off? We've been out to whatever store, out and about. We've been with people. We come home. Then what?
And when you're handling that mask, you need to immediately wash your hands for that 20 seconds with soap and water.
Okay.
If you don't have the soap and water, then go to the hand sanitizer. It's got 60% alcohol in it.
And should we put the mask somewhere distinct, or what should we do with that?
When I took it off for the day, I would put it like in a Harris Teeter bag or something and throw it in the laundry room until you're ready to wash and send that through.
Okay. Well, Beth, thanks. And again, this is very practical today because so I think the takeaways here from what I'm hearing are, 1, keep up the social distancing.
Yes.
And that's not just for our high risk people, correct?
Correct. That's for everyone.
Okay. Everybody keep it up.
We don't put them in the stores. If you're high risk, we want you to let us know that we've got teams ready to go out and do grocery shopping, medicine drops. If you're high risk, please, please, please stay at home.
And if you are out, if you have to go out, whether you're high risk or not, is now the time to consider wearing a mask?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, wear a mask.
And the big reason for that is the data that is coming out now is that with current quarantine measures in place, we're looking at hospital bed capacity being, through April being okay.
Yes, it should. That's what the models are showing that just came out this week, that if we continue social distancing, we will have adequate beds through the end of April. If they extend it out, then we should be okay. If they don't extend it out, then we're likely to, we're 50% chance of needing more beds.
Okay. So if we find ourselves in a place where we have to get out, do wear the masks. And thanks, Beth, for giving us some good tips on how to wear those, because I think that's very important. I have questions, people have questions, and you're the one to answer them. So thanks. And Beth, you have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll see you next week for a medical update, and continue to pray. Everybody, just continue to pray that God gives us a sense of how what we are doing is showing love for others, and in a different kind of way, and continue to pray that God's will be done, and that this epidemic will lessen over time. We're doing a great job. So there's signs of hope coming into Easter, which is a fantastic thing. We'll look forward to seeing you all tonight at Wednesday Night Live. Expect another Conversations from 6 Feet tomorrow with Dr. Larry Michael. It's part 2 of his grieving one, and I've heard already some very good comments about that. And then, of course, Resurrection Sunday, Easter, we will see you all for worship at home. Thanks, you all, and have a very blessed day.